It's 8:01. My apologies, a couple of minutes late. I had to run out of the studio. One of our interns is doing a little practice at the anchor desk, and I didn't want to disturb her. I wanted to let her have her opportunity to get that practice in because if there's one thing that you'll learn about working at a TV station, it's that as an intern, that studio time is incredibly valuable. So I did not want to get in her way, but we still have coffee talk to do, and I want to be sure to be here for you. So anyway, good morning to you. It is a beautiful morning. But y'all, it is already toasty warm. Let's look outside. There's the Orlando International Airport. Hit 97 degrees there yesterday. Warm enough for you? Definitely warm enough for me. I'll tell you that for free. Beautiful, at least, right? Yeah, let's head over to the tourist district and see what's doing here. Swan, Dolphin, there's the Riviera, the Skyliner running. It is a lovely morning for you. Let's head to downtown Orlando and see what's doing. Lake Eola, so pretty, right? Oh man, there's a reason they call it the City Beautiful. Over to the coast, see what's doing on our Port Canaveral Tower cam, looking over toward. I know we've discussed it. I forgot what that building's called. Is that like the something tower, the exploration tower? Is that what it's called? I don't remember. Hold on, opening up the protein shake. Beautiful. It's beautiful there. New Smyrna Beach. Let's check in, see what you're doing. Yeah, you're looking good too. All right. So it's a nice, quiet start to the morning here in Central Florida. You gotta love that, right? Temperature wise, a little warm, a little muggy. First warning live Doppler radar. Quiet. Nothing to really see there. Already 80 degrees in Orlando. It's 78 in the Villages, 79 in Palm Coast. And these temperatures are going to climb little by little by little through the day ahead, right? 94 degrees our 1 p.m. temperature, 98 degrees our 3 o'clock temp. It is going to be hot. 10% chance of rain. That's it. Futurecast just throwing a few spotty showers in there. I'll show it to you, but just don't hold your breath that it's going to impact you. All right? Because really and truly, most of us are probably going to miss out. All right, here's a look. Quiet this morning, right? So pretty. By 1, 2 o'clock, trying to pop up a couple little showers. Look at that. 3 o'clock, good luck. If you live in Brevard, you might get a little bit. Osceola, maybe. Maybe a sprinkle in Orange or a sprinkle in Seminole. And that's all she wrote. Seriously, that's all she wrote today. It's going to be hot. That is absolutely the focus of the forecast today. Here's a look at those numbers, okay? 98 in Orlando, 97 in Wildwood, 98 in Ocala. Um, yeah, it's going to be one of those kinds of forecasts, okay? And then you want to talk about feels like temperatures. Here's the heat index numbers in Orlando. Okay, understand that Orlando is under a heat advisory because once you get a feels like temperature of 104, that triggers the criteria. And there you go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right through the time frame there. You've got yourself that feels like temperature. I would also add the fact that that puts us well into the extreme caution zone. This is significant heat. So we've got to take it easy, all right? Feels like temperatures crossing the 104 mark mean that Orange, Osceola, and Inland Brevard counties are under a heat advisory. For the rest of us, there was that music festival in Marion County, had many rescues because of intoxication in this kind of heat is literally the most dangerous thing on the planet. But say you're going to be in DeLand today, for example. Feels like temperature there's going to be like 102. It doesn't quite hit the criteria for a heat advisory, but it's still pretty much the same thing. You're talking about a very subtle difference. So just be careful. Another thing, nerd facts, and any opportunity I have to show the poor dog with his tongue out, I'm going to do it. Today's forecast is 98. We've had quite a few days of temperatures at or above 97. And because of that, I went back and looked. All right. So today will be the 8th day at or above 97 degrees for the year. Not consecutively, but for the year. If that's the case, through June 9th, the last time we did that have have 8 non-consecutive days at or above 97 through June the 9th. You have to go back to 1927. So, to say that this is a fairly rare event, having so many blistering days this early in the season, I think is a truth. I think it's absolutely a truth. And I did have somebody, and I don't know if this person is in the coffee talk group, so forgive me if you're not. Somebody was asking, oh, okay. So Ray asked, watching your weather this morning, you showed the weather we're having has not happened since 1927. That's the graphic you're seeing there. My question is, do we have accurate weather data for 1927 with today's forecast, such as ocean temperature, amount of storms? Yeah, we don't have like hurricane data as valuable, Ray. But in terms of like thermometers and things, yeah, absolutely. We had thermometers and good temperature data back then. So that's good. Taylor says, I hope this isn't a repeat of 98. Well, why are we so hot today? Because high pressure's in control, and thus it's not allowing any rain to move in. And I would add that the Keach-Byram drought index, it's not looking good. Why are you not loading? Maybe I need to reload the graphic. Interesting. Well, it's yellows, it's oranges and reds. All right, we'll do it a different way. The drought monitor for Central Florida is moderate. So what we need, obviously, and you brought up 98, so it put me on my next tangent. Frankly, I was waiting for somebody to do that. My next tangent, which is what we need is rain, right? Because rain and the start of the rainy season will help to turn us around to where we can fill these numbers in, right? Like Leesburg, you're doing good. The rest of Central Florida, 3, 4, almost 7 inches of rain behind because it's been dry. So that's number one, fill in the deficit. Number two, with the heat like this, you know what really helps heat? Rain. Because you can't sit and bake and bake and bake. You can't get these temperatures if you have a ton of clouds and a ton of cooling storms. So what we need is rain. When we talk about the wet season, okay, give me a second here. When we talk about the wet season, the latest onset to the wet season was in July, and that was in 1998. That was the year that it seemed like Central Florida was on fire. We were burning. We were not doing well. It was an El Nino year, and the reality is we're going neutral, but we're still in a pretty El Nino-esque pattern. So that would explain why it's been slow to kick up our wet season. Our wet season hasn't really kicked off yet. When we look at the wet season start dates for the last few years, it will have already started, right? May or early June. So this is probably going to be the latest onset to the rainy season that we've seen since 2020, right? But I do think that we're on our way to starting the wet season. Okay, I think that we've got some pretty good indication of things. First off, let's go to the tropical satellite. All of this is related, by the way. All right, tropical satellite looking nice and quiet. Hurricane Center not expecting any tropical development over the next 7 days' time. But down to the Caribbean we go, and there's absolutely an area of disturbed weather down there. You see that near Belize, kind of right in that Caribbean zone? What's going on? Some moisture. Where's that moisture going? Here. Let me show you this is the rain product from the American GFS, and watch how through the next couple of days, an area of low pressure is anticipated to form and basically just throws buckets and buckets and buckets of rain right at Florida. That's Saturday. It's throwing rain round and round and round of rain over top of us. And what I love about this is that finally this morning, it seems like the American and the European models are both starting to come in line together, indicating widespread 3 to 5 inches of rain for the peninsula. Yeah. Take a look. These are the forecast numbers that we're kind of looking at, okay? Parts of South Florida, look at Cape Coral, Miami, Homestead, Fort Lauderdale, upwards half a foot to a foot of rainfall the next 7 days. For us, you and me, probably 4, 5 inches of rain. Now, of course, this is going to be tweaked, but it's at least a good idea of the kind of pattern that we're going into, a complete turnaround of weather patterns. So needed. Now, we'll look at the models in a second, but let me finish my tangent and then we can catch up and do all that fun stuff. All right. So here's a look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7 day forecast. Okay. And you'll notice today, yeah, hot and dry. Tomorrow, hot, but not as hot because of the thunderstorms firing up. And then, lots of rain. Lots of clouds, lots of showers, lots of downpour. Could we be talking about some washout stuff this week? Kind of looks that way. Yeah, kind of looks that way. Look at those temperatures too. Big difference from 98 today to 84 degrees on Thursday. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a good change. That's a good change. So that's where we're at. All right. Questions, and then we can dive into some models. But do we have any questions so far? I've missed some comments because I've been running my mouth, but I want to get to the info first. All right. Amy says, so flying out of Fort Lauderdale Thursday morning and back Sunday afternoon. Maybe a bumpy ride. Remember, going up is going to be the only bumps. Once you're up, you're good. First couple of minutes may be a little bumpy, depends on the time of day. Rain isn't, thunderstorms are obviously, you're not going to fly through a thunderstorm. Rain is actually, if it's a stratiform rain, that's actually pretty smooth. Heat and convection is really what messes with airplanes and makes you go up and down. So depending on the time of day, if there's a lot of heat, you know, but if it's just kind of stratiform rain, then no, it won't be too bumpy of a ride. So yeah. Matt says not a flying week. I've got I've got the plane reserved. I don't even know what time. I didn't even look to see. It's so funny. I haven't even like mentally gotten to. So I've got late morning on Thursday. If I can sneak it, I can sneak it. And then I've got late morning on Friday. Yeah, obviously if the weather's bad, I'm not going to go flying, but I can do my best. Hold on one second. So, yeah. Oh man, will it get cooler by the end of August or so since it's so hot early? No, none of this really plays into that. Although, for cycling purposes, 46, 47 days from now, I would imagine that we have another pretty significant heat wave. So there you go. Barb says, I missed you running your mouth. It's comforting. Oh, well, thank you. You could fly through it. Results may vary. Well, that's exactly right. Sonia says, I'm not happy with 90% rain on Wednesday. I don't know how to feel about it. It's my birthday. Wanted to be out and about that day. Do the best you can. I'm not promising that they're washout days, but do the best you can. Jamie, why isn't the rain percentages 100 on those days? Because it doesn't look like there will be a 100% coverage of rain. So yeah, I mean, it could get that way. Forecasts change several times a day. We have to tweak our forecast numbers. So Marquise will have another update. I feel like my glasses are super crooked. Do they look crooked to you? Um, Marquise will have another update tonight. I will be back with you in the morning. Yeah, these are, yeah. Okay, that's maybe a little bit better. These glasses are on their last legs. So anyway, yeah, Marquise will have an update tonight. I'll be back with you I'm sunrise next couple of days, so I'll be back with you the next couple of days. Tony says, surprising my dad and taking him to Fort Wilderness next weekend. Is Saturday going to be an all-day rain event? It's looking pretty wet for now. Yeah. We'll have to tweak it and get there, but it's looking pretty wet. Yeah, Chris, in that ballpark. In that ballpark. Would you cancel Disney if you could? Why would I? No. No. It rainy Disney days are actually the best. Throw a poncho and the park's a little quieter. Can you change the graphic for Thursday? My wife is driving to Ohio finally on Thursday. Have you guys been apart that long, Tim? Good gravy. I'm sure you're glad to get her up there. Yeah, I wish I could, but at least it's the rain's here. It's not everywhere. Fort Wilderness currently isn't allowing us to grill out due to drought conditions. I mean, that makes sense. The drought, I don't know why my little um drought index graphic isn't working, but yeah, I mean there's a moderate drought here for sure. So rain is definitely something that we could use. So let's do this. Let's look at the computer models and kind of see where we are, where we're going, all that fun stuff, okay? All right, so here we are. Lower-ish pressure definitely lowering Monday, Tuesday. You could see that. Something of energy kind of bubbling up, moving in. Kind of coming on up here. I'll bring it full screen so we can see this. 1,004 millibar low. So that's not a very organized, deep area of low pressure. Not expecting this to become a hurricane. I think that's, there's people that are like, oh, there's a hurricane coming. There's not a hurricane coming. 1,004, 1,005 millibar low it's an area of low pressure. It's not all that deep. So there's that. All right. All right. So that's there. Kind of weakens and then does its thing. And then that's different. And that's where, and I'll tell you, the new GFS ran while I was doing the morning newscast, and that's interesting. So that's the 22nd. So let me, in the background here, let me pull up my long range forecast. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Where are you? All right. So let's compare notes. All right. So we've got that, and let's just kind of see where the models are wanting it to go. Kind of up into the northern Gulf Coast there. That's the 25th of June. All right, 25th of June. Let's see what we've got. Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? There you go. June 20th through the 26th. So that's our first window for the Gulf to Carolinas low. It fits the pattern in terms of dates. It'll be interesting to see how it ends up playing out, but it fits the pattern. That's the GFS. If we go back a run, is it there? Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't really see it much there. So that's what caught me off guard when I saw this run. I was like, oh, look at that. So anyway, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. All right, let's switch over to the European. And let's see what the European's doing. This is the 0-0-Z run. It goes further out. You got that broad area of low pressure, bringing Florida the moisture. If we go out to the artificial intelligence version of it, just to kind of check in, lowering pressure, nothing big, but lowered pressure giving us rain through Saturday, clearing out a little bit by Sunday. That's the 20th. Not really doing much there. So the GFS is kind of in a league of its own. Doesn't surprise me at all. Let's look at the Canadian. Let's have some fun. Canadian only goes out 240 hours, but let's see. So there's that low pressure bringing us the rain. Not really doing anything crazy. And then trying to figure something else out at about June 19th. So, all right. Interesting. Interesting. I think it's interesting that GFS just kind of pinged this little timeline, huh? Very interesting stuff. It's always fun to track the weather. Um, we've got plenty of time to do that over the next few months for hurricane season. Thankfully, no big threats to us, so we just kind of watch and see. But at the end of the day, we've just got a lot of moisture moving in, and we need a lot of moisture to move in. 70, 80, 90% coverage of rain. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Yep. If you must smoke, please do not throw your kids out of your vehicle window. Throw your kids or your butt? Cigs? Ah, yeah. Michelle's the GFS drunk. Are you thinking it's correct? It fits the pattern, Michelle, so it'll be interesting to see. Thank you for your reports. Really helps since I'm outside a lot. Of course, Sean, my pleasure, buddy. Michelle, would you say the GFS is not reliable? It seems way off compared to others. Models in their very nature are just supposed to try to figure it out. That was the operational GFS. So what we could do if we want to take a deeper dive, let's do this. Let's pop it back up, but let's look at the ensembles. All right, GFS ensemble. We'll go back to the beginning. And what we're looking at is pressures. And so we've got all the models on top of themselves. So definitely lowering pressure in the Gulf these next couple of days through Saturday. We know this. Some models are trying, like a couple of ensemble members, look at that, a 995 low. Like a couple of members are trying to throw together something tropical with this, not much. And then afterward, a bunch of ensemble members are, look at that, a bunch of ensemble members are trying to throw together some sort of tropical trouble in that like 22nd, 23rd time frame, right? So that's the GFS. Let's come back. We'll reset. Let's look at the European ensemble. All right. And let's just roll through time. All right. So there you go. Thursday, Friday, a couple of models, definitely lowering pressure in the Gulf. A couple of ensemble members trying to get into some sort of low pressure, closing off. Nothing crazy there. But notice, in that time frame of the 22nd, there's one member. There's like one or two members trying to throw together an area of low pressure. So the GFS isn't like completely out. If we go to the Canadian ensembles, this week, yeah, lowering pressures. All right. So we've got that. And then toward the end of the month, 21st, 20th, I mean, the Canadians trying to, you can see the Canadians trying to throw some. So there's some indications on some of these ensemble members of lowering pressure in like the 22nd, 23rd time frame. So yeah, could be there. We'll watch. It fits the pattern, so we'll just have to watch and see how it plays out. They'll figure it out. Taylor, you can once. Yeah. When I show you a model that lines up with the long range forecast, fun will ensue. Well, I don't know that fun will ensue, but it'll definitely be something interesting to look at. Taylor, see, Canadians can be mean. Oh, geez. Let's just watch and track it. That's all. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody have anything? Anything at all? I'll let you talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. It's usually safe to ignore the GFS at 240 hours out. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. Rain in the afternoons or all day. It's a little, so I'll show you long range futurecast. Hold on. So I'll show you long range futurecast, but understand that that's Tuesday. So let's just kind of follow through time. So Tuesday, notice 4 a.m. it's showing rain Tuesday. And then we get into some storms into the afternoon. 11 o'clock, it gets quieter. There's 6 a.m. Wednesday. Look at all that rain in South Florida, then into the afternoon. So at least for now, the model's trying to show some washout days. Look at that. 7 a.m. Thursday, though, completely wet. So it just depends on the day, honestly. Some of these days, like there's 4 a.m. scattered showers. So some of these days there's going to be rain overnight and into the morning, and some of them there isn't. And you're still talking days out in a situation where an area of low pressure hasn't yet formed. The models are trying to form the area of low pressure, and that is just a uniquely difficult forecasting um, predicament that you're in. And so you can't go with a high confidence of timeline. You're getting a high confidence in amount of rain and overall coverage, but in terms of timing, it's a little difficult there. Yeah. Do you think any Saturday outside plans should be canceled? Not at this point, certainly. No. Let's see here. How hot is the water? I mean, they're in the mid 80s for sure. Yeah. How much rain are we looking at for parts of Florida, like Florida's southwest coast? You could be talking about nearly a foot of rain the next 7 days. For Central Florida, 4 or 5 inches of rain the next 7 days is a pretty good bet. Will that change? Certainly it can. So we'll keep eyes on model run to model run and keep you up to date. But yeah, look, we need rainfall. We need rainfall. So let's take what we can get. Right? Any other questions? What is a heat dome? It's a basically where we're at right now. No rain and a bunch of heat. That's all. All right, that's what I got. So for today, near record heat, dangerous if you're not drinking uh, water and keeping hydrated. Where are you in the office? Did they renovate while you're out? No, no, this is the newsroom. Same newsroom as I first walked into in like 2006, something like that. Yeah. This part changed. We've updated the contact paper on that wall, so it looks pretty. But that's it. No, it's the same newsroom that Steve Rondinero and Andrea Coudrier worked in, so no difference there. All right. Sound good? Sound good. Listen, thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. We'll be back together again tomorrow morning. I'll be at Wesh for it because I'm covering for Kellyanne, which also means it's going to be like 1 or 2 minutes late. But we'll do field trips when between weather hits and all that fun stuff. All right? Sound good? Sound good? Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take care.